Hi, it's Hannah here coming at you live from my apartment on this Friday night. Um, I just got done reading over the article that we were assigned, or I guess it was an introduction to a book by this guy named Mark Benno. And it was really interesting to me, his perspective on things, being kind of a technology expert and having a job in a school system. His take on things was pretty cool, and I had I pretty much agreed generally with everything that he said, um, and it was interesting to learn that in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s and all that kind of stuff, when television was just starting to become a big deal, and radio as well, that they were going to implement those technologies in schools to help kids learn and to stimulate learners and everything like that. There was one quote that was speaking in reference to the television and radio getting involved in the schools, and it was the mind works under laws just as definite as are the laws of physics. These laws included the law of habit and the law of vividness. Show a vivid image repeatedly to a student, and the people will not fail to grasp it. And I find that that's to me is like really ridiculous, because I can stare at a PowerPoint all day and copy down the information on the PowerPoint and not understand it, because I've had that happen to me before. If I copy down notes off of a PowerPoint, like tons and tons of notes every day, like we do, for example, an astronomy lecture, that is really repetitive, so I have to like look over my notes at night and study them and everything, and write notes in the margins of my notes from class so that I understand the concepts better. Anyway, also, he mentioned how there was always, well, not always, but with technology being involved in the classroom, and with the education of the students being heavily reliant upon technology, there are a lot of things that could go wrong, like malfunctions and everything like that. That happened a lot in my high school, because we had the county had just implemented this program where each student got a tiny little mini laptop, that was theirs for each class that they went to, and my high school was the last in the county to have it implemented. So when I was a senior, they were dealing with all these problems from the computers, and it often got in the way of what we were trying to learn. Like, for example, my AP government teacher would always plan for us to get on the computers, and of course the Wi-Fi would never work, and it was just a pain in the butt all the time and really aggravating. So oftentimes she just resorted to showing us her PowerPoints that she had used in previous years. Um, in addition to that, of course, the article discusses the access to technology, and that can be an issue even today. I'm assuming this article was written quite a while ago, but it, I mean, not especially in public schools in poor areas, where a lot of the students are of low socioeconomic status. They're like, what do they do if their teacher starts to assign them homework online, and they can't get online at home to do their homework because they don't have Wi-Fi, or they might not even have a computer, so, or some kind of like tablet or other device where they could access the internet. So that's until, like, because computers are very widespread now, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, in comparison to things like television, because usually nowadays, like, pretty much every house has like several televisions, and sometimes too, like, each house has several computers, like a desktop and a laptop and a tablet, things like that. But I guess since computers require the additional like Wi-Fi and everything like that, that it's just kind of complicated for some people to get still, even though like I'm glad that I've never had to deal with that issue, but I'm sure that there are people who have had to deal with it, even though I don't personally know anybody who has. Um, and then the author also discusses the idea of technology eventually becoming so advanced that it takes the place of the teacher. And there were some quotes in there saying how that computers or technology could serve as better instructors than actual teachers who are there, human teachers who are in the classroom interacting with the students on a daily basis, one on one, whether it's one on one or multiple students plus the teacher. Um, I just I don't agree with that because technology doesn't have the ability to feel empathetic towards human beings. I mean, human beings could try to make technology empathetic, but I don't think that could really ever work just because the human mind and the human psyche is so complex to understand, even for other humans to understand. So how can an imperfect human being make a device or some sort of technology that would be able to understand everything that humans go through in their lives and all the things that all the emotions and thoughts and feelings that we deal with? I just don't see it happening ever. Not in the near future, not anytime, no matter how advanced technology gets. I mean, maybe I'm underestimating the abilities of other people, but I don't know. I think that's about it. It was a really interesting article, and I enjoyed reading it. Thank you for assigning it.